Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage and the AZU project. Today my goal for this video will be to make it possible to sit into the AZU, start it up, put it into gear, drive it a little bit forward and backwards and brake. So essentially making the AZU a usable car again. To do that I need to fit some seats, I need to make the suspension right. Currently it's leaning quite a lot. I need a lot of cables and stuff fitted. I already started off camera. I fitted the clutch pedal, the brake pedal, the accelerator pedal. I still need to make the handbrake work. I need to bleed the braking system. I need to fit the starting cable, the seats, a lot of stuff. But that's the goal. Let's see how far I get. I hope to be able to move it. That will make it possible to drive it out and drive it onto the lift to fix the last rusty bits down here and stuff. That would be nice. So let's get to work. But the first thing I want to do is something that I almost forgot. Right in there is a friction damper. But on the other side, there's not a friction damper. That is because the friction damper is over here. The friction damper is a spring and two plates, kind of like a clutch plates, pressed together with a spring. And you can see, as you can see, there are holes in both sides, but they don't exactly line up at the moment. Just to demonstrate, currently there are no dampening effect. I haven't even installed the inertia damper yet either. And the entire thing is just bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. It wouldn't be nice to drive. But in order to align those 2 points, I need to make a special tool. So the plan is to take this, put it into here, and then I have a bolt that fits into this hole. Now I just need to mount it on a piece of metal. Like this, proper beautiful welds, but it just needs to be strong. Then I need to find that hole right there, line that up. So it's right around there. There we go. And then if my eye measurement is just somewhat correct, I should be able to drop this bolt right into that hole right there. That works. And then I'm just going to tack that into place also. Like right around there. Oh. There we go. And now we have a little crude tool to insert into this. And I should be able to install it. I'm just going to let this cool because it's a little bit hot. So now I can thread this into these are the holes. And then take my tool, fit it in. And twist the thing until they line up. I'm just going to tap it in. There we go. It's in. It worked. That's nice. There we go. The holes are not lining up, and that's because the axle needs to be. And that is because I need to lift up the car until these holes lines up. That's right around there. And then fit this cover and the bolts. There we go, it's installed. I just need to put the cover on the other side also, and then the friction damper is sorted. So next up I want to do something about this lean, because currently I actually don't have any ground clearance. It is resting on the jack currently. What I need to do is to spin this rod on the suspension arm right there until I can fit this underneath the axle, underneath the chassis. I'm gonna lift up the car slightly just to take the force off the rod while I spin it. And then this is 19.5 centimeters. That's correct for 2CV. I'm not sure it's correct for AZU, but it doesn't really matter because this is, all the weight is not attached to the car just yet, so it will just be to get some ground clearance for now. So what I want to do is to lift the jack until this one just slightly fits, or almost fits. It's just around there. It actually fits. And I'm gonna spin this rod until the weight is not on the jack. I'll have to do it on both sides, so I will just do a bit here and then start on the other side until it's kind of even. It's just a matter of making the distance between this and this shorter to raise the suspension. So with the front now somewhat level, at least a lot higher, got a lot of ground clearance now. I'm just going to do the rear also. It's not completely straight, and it's a waste of time trying to make it straight right now because it's on a slightly curved piece of concrete, and I'm missing the bonnet, the doors, and all this stuff. So it's just to give it a bit of ground clearance to move it. I'm just going to do it on the rear as well. So I'm just going to spin that until this fits underneath. And again, it can help. It's a little bit easier if you put a jack underneath to take the tension off, but it is very light also, so it's possible to turn it without. But it does take a bit of time. So don't come around saying that this channel doesn't include wrenching content. Maybe I'm just going to leave this in real time, because this is how your life is sometimes wrenching on old cars. It's a long time, it's a lot of work doing the same thing over and over again. There we go. There we go. That will be good enough for now. And I know it is not straight, it is, but it will settle down, and it will also need to be readjusted when everything is back together and remeasured and all that. But right now it's up in the air and looking like a proper car with actual ground clearance and all that, which is really nice if I want to drive this. And also the famous suspension is starting to come back to life. So these holes are for the seat mounting. I'm not sure, or I'm pretty sure that these floor pans that I installed are not specific for the AZU van, because I can only use the first three ones for the seats. These one will not be possible to use because it will hit the back of the van, so it's probably for the passenger version of this, or the normal four-seater. But on the frame there are no holes, so we need to make the 3 holes on the chassis, not the frame, the chassis, in order to actually install the seats. And what I'm going to do is to use this and install that in the first one. Pull the string all the way and install that into the second one like this. And then we have a line, and then I know, because I measured on the seat, that 50 centimeters is the distance between them. That is right here. The same on the other one. Then I can go ahead and drill the pilot hole as soon as I find my mark. It's right there. Like that. Then I'm going to use this drill, step drill, and just to get the right size, I'm going to put it into one of these holes. Put a line on the drill. That way I can just drill until it hits the line. Which is right there. I should use some oil to cool the drill. Like that. And a test fit. There we go. It fits, and as you can see, we're already pretty close to the wall. And the furthest back that I seem to be able to go is the... No, actually I can go all the way to the almost to the last one, but not the last one. So it's only the last one that cannot be used, but this can be used. So I'm going to do the same as I did on this one, on all the front four ones. So there we go. I'm just going to give it some paint on the edges, and I'm also going to give it some kind of oily protection down here, because even though I paint the edges, the seats will definitely scratch those edges very quickly, and then it will be a rust spot. But this has just been one of the things on this project that has taken a long time. This chassis might fit, but a lot of stuff is not fitting right to begin with, or holes are missing, stuff like that. Another example of that is these attached to the chassis, the front wings are attached to it, and the bumper at front is attached to it. It goes right here. This hole is not lining up perfectly, but I have enlarged it so it is fitting now. This hole is completely missing. The hole on the side is completely missing also. Not only that, this one for the headlight is supposed to go somewhere like this. Pretty sure it's all the way back here, but I can't remember exactly. But even if it was like this, as it looks like it's supposed to be, the holes doesn't line up at all. So this chassis is fitting, but it's definitely not the correct holes for this version of it. But it will eventually come back together, but there will just be a lot of modifying and so on. That's just the way it is. But now I can fit the driver's seat, but not before I remove that support bar that I put in when I started to cut and weld. So I'm just going to cut that out. And there we go. I don't have any fabric for this just yet, but there is a seat now. Whoops! So it's not the first time that I'm gonna sit in this car, but it's been a while since I did it. And it's not very pleasant to sit on a piece of wood like this, but it's possible. Woo! Actually, I think I'm gonna move this seat to the other side, because I think the other one is the original for the car. This is some kind of replacement because it's black. just for the originality of stuff, I'm going to use this on the passenger side. Passenger seats still have a little bit of of upholstery and springs. And I can actually sit in it. And I'm only mildly horrified. But I really shouldn't do that because it's broken right there. And it's broken back there. So we need to just weld this up a bit to make it stick together again. So there we go, the seat is now somewhat held back together with some small welds. And it's, yeah, probably how it would have been fixed on the side of the road or in a small French garage on the countryside. So it's fine. I actually can't use the last hole because there's a structure in the chassis that makes it impossible to put in that little pivoting point. But now we have a seat right here. Let's just try to sit in that also, being very scared. Oh, please hold up, please hold up. Now I'm actually sitting at a position that I can drive this car in, which is nice. I better get out again. Ooh. Next up, I want this car to be able to brake. So I'm going to fill in some brake fluid. The brakes were fixed by the previous owner not that long ago apparently. So I haven't really checked them, but a lot of stuff looks new. So I'm just going to fill it in and bleed the brakes, and then we'll go from there. Let's try that. I'm just going to apply a bit of pressure. I'm not going to go too high on this system, because of that glass thing and the seals and all that. And then I'm going to go to the tire furthest away from this. Don't mind that the hose looks green. It's not green stuff that comes out, don't worry. And there we go. And I just need to do that on all four corners. With all brakes split, there is now a pedal, and it actually brakes. It's very soft still. I presume it is down to the brakes not being adjusted yet. That will be a lot easier with the car on the lift, all four wheels off, and then, well, I don't need to take these off because the brake drum is inside there. But it works now. I can brake, and that makes it possible to drive it, and that's the goal currently. So that's good. Next up, I need to be able to start the engine from inside. That is done by a Bowden cable that you pull. I'm pulling it right now, you probably can't see it, but that will pull in this one. The cable is right here, it's too short. I bought another one. It is right here, so I need to install that. That's the old one out, and in with the new one. So with the cable mounted out in the engine bay also, I now should be a, oh, I missed the choke cable is not attached. There we go. I put some bungees on the seat also to help support the weight of me. It's still very scary to sit down, but I think I'm at a point where the goal for this video is close. At least I think I can start it. I think I can put it into gear, and I think that I can brake. Let's try. Ignition on, and then choke to the middle, and then pull the starter. I should have primed the front, of course. It's been a long time since I started it last. Oh, there we go. Choke cable is binding. There we go. Maybe slight higher idle. But let's just see if the throttle works. Oh yeah, the brake feels very soft, but something is happening for sure. I think it needs adjustment. It could also be air still. Then let's try to clutch out. Definitely hear the clutch. And then first gear. Yeah. The brakes are working. The clutch is very bitey. You know what? That's a success. And I'm gonna stop here, because if you remember my previous video where I introduced my own 2CV project, I did sort of the same like this, and then I drove it into my wall because the clutch was a bit bitey. I better make sure that I don't have anything to hit before I really do a test drive on this. But it is working. The brakes are working. Clutch are working. The accelerator pedal is working. I can start it from in here. That's a massive improvement. Whew, that's nice. Don't forget you can support me on Patreon. There's a link down below. And thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.